engines.
Welcome to round 12 of the IndyCar Series World Championship. Here we are in New Hampshire. As you can see, it's a brilliant, gorgeous day, plenty of sunshine. But joking apart, we're hoping, very seriously, to try and get the race in before the rain comes.
The after typhoon is closing in on New England. If it does happen and the rain comes down, of course you can't run on an oval circuit when it's raining, and so the race will be moved into Monday.
Oh, this is it! Mansell takes the lead with 4 laps to go. What a move!
Last year's race here at the New Hampshire International Speedway was without doubt one of the best races of the 1993 season. Nigel Mansell's devil win over Paul Tracy, setting him up to be on the brink of winning his title at Nazareth in the following round. This year, Nigel's chances of retaining that title are all but gone. Alonso Jr. of the Penske team has an almost unassailable points lead in the championship. The only man who has a realistic chance of catching him is his teammate, Emerson Fittipaldi. Al Jr. has 153 points, Emerson 118. There's 100 points available for winning all 5 races, with a few points here in the whole positions and fastest laps, but it would be a brave man who would bet against Alonso Jr. taking his second IndyCar title.
I think Leroy has a much big advantage. He's 30 points ahead and 38 points ahead, and still 5 races to go, but anything can happen. But I'll be driving very hard these next few races to see if I can recover.
Emerson Fittipaldi starts today's race pole position. A lap of 175.09 miles an hour was over 3 miles an hour faster than Nigel Mansell's lap record from last year. Amazingly, it's Fittipaldi's first ever short oval pole position, and it's his first since Laguna Seca at the end of the 1993 season. Without doubt, the major controversy of qualifying was Raul Boesel's second place on the grid. The Brazilian scratched on his first run and then again on his second, and Chief Steward Wally Dallenbach allowed him a 10-minute free practice before allowing him to qualify for a 3rd time. Boesel was allowed to keep his second fastest spot on the grid, even though Chief Steward Wally Dallenbach admitted he'd made a mistake. Nigel Mansell managed a lap of 176 miles an hour in the morning practice, but he dropped down to 173 in the hotter track conditions. Nigel recently celebrated his 41st birthday, and he's still looking for his first win of 1994.
I'd like a belated birthday present. I haven't had one this year yet, so, I'm looking for my first win of the season. We're working hard, but, the thing I've noticed on some circuits, we're having a real job setting the car up.
Not surprisingly, with all the press speculation in England that he's on his way back to Formula One for a reputed $30 million, Nigel is the hot topic of discussion in the paddock at the moment, and his future is on everybody's lips.
Until you really want to retire yourself, your career's never over until you want it to be. There'll always be a team, there'll always be a sponsor that will, back you. And for me, I have a number of options. If anything, I have too many options open, and that's probably the greatest difficulty that anyone can have, and I think, unfortunately, that creates the most speculation.
The hot tip to replace Nigel at Newman-Haas is Mansell-Andretti, who won the IndyCar title with them in 1991. There's a great deal of speculation who his teammate might be. Andretti is known to favour Scott Goodyear or Raul Boesel, but Paul Tracy looks like he may be a free agent. Penske is not going to run a 3-car team next year, and it looks like Tracy is the one who is surplus to requirements. He wants to run with Newman-Haas, but Penske is known to want him to run with Ganassi. One piece of shock news this weekend is that Bobby Rahal will drop the Honda engines for 1995. Rahal has only a 2nd place at Toronto to show for this season, and at Indianapolis he had the embarrassment of dropping the whole project and using a Penske Ilmor chassis just to qualify for the race. It seems his sponsors, Miller Genuine Draft, put a great deal of pressure on him to drop the Honda engines, and reluctantly, Bobby complied.
The boys from Brazil on the front row. Boesel there by virtue of that 3rd shot at qualifying, pushing Mansell back into 3rd position, Tracy into 4th. Mario on row 3 says arrivederci to New England. Dominic Dobson starts 6th. Theo Fabi trying to hold on to his drive with all VDS, starts alongside Adrian Fernandez. Championship leader, Alan Jr., starts a disappointing 10th, but that hasn't hampered him in the past. The pack then ready for the green as we join our ESPN commentary team, Derek Daly, Jan Beekes, Gary Gerald and Paul Page.
Plenty of onboard cameras here for you today as the field now begins to rotate off of the last turn. There's Bobby Rahall's nose cam as they pick up speed, looking back from Adrian Fernandez with Al Unser Jr. right behind him on board with Mansell-Andretti. And there is Robbie Gordon's camera. And here we come as look at Adrian Fernandez loses it on the start, and lots of people, including Gordon, get in trouble. So it's no start. It is a yellow. Adrian continues on down the pits.
And believe it or not, look at Robbie Gordon. He's undamaged, but he's backing down the front straight here, making sure he doesn't hit anything. Jacques Villeneuve and Arie Luyendyk are involved in the melee, though.
Villeneuve's got some real problems to the front of his car that may take him out of the race, but let's not be premature with that. There's Robbie Gordon sitting in his cockpit. Here we go. Fernandez started it.
Adrian Fernandez clearly dropped the clutch, broke the rear wheels away, shot right across the racetrack, and believe it or not, has fully escaped as he comes down the escape road with the Budweiser car. Here's another angle here.
Oh, boy.
Luyendyk was an innocent bystander there.
Adrian Fernandez unharmed by the incident and able to restart as we go green on lap 8.
Fittipaldi accelerates. Look at Tracy poke his nose in the back of Raoul Boisel. Mansell tries to the inside. Mario closes on Mansell. Dominic Dobson gets a nice run on the start, too. It's Fittipaldi leading down the backstretch. The first real lap of racing. And we're back to yellow. Back to yellow immediately.
With Stefan Johansson bumping the wall, and then this frightening crash between Mike Groff and the airborne Scott Sharp. 2 consecutive yellows stopped racing until lap 25. Fortunately and amazingly, nobody was injured in either incident. We return for the 4th green flag of the race. Nigel Mansell in 4th place.
We've just gone green here in the Slick 5200 at Loudon and actually got a full lap into the record book under green. Look at Raoul Boisel as he challenges second place Paul Tracy. Tracy comes off the wall, dials down to the middle of the track. Boisel tries him down on the inside. Here's another note for you. Despite all those little increments of green, 3 different increments of green before, Mansell-Andretti started 17th and is now up to 6th. Raoul Boisel, the guy of the moment, as he continues to try on Paul Tracy.
Trying to force the issue down on that inside line. Tracy, look, he comes down to the middle of the racetrack, making it more difficult for Boisel. Tracy trying to hang on to Emerson, but then got embroiled in his own battle with Boisel, and that's the 2 Newman-Haas white cars behind, being led by Mansell. And Mario has been fast here all weekend.
At the front of the field, Fittipaldi and Tracy, with Tracy trying to move outside of Fittipaldi.
Oh, the racing room. You do have 2 distinct racing grooves here. Emerson holds the inside. Tracy makes it.
Tracy stay there. Look at him just whip around the outside and pick up the lead of the race. Paul Tracy in front. Boisel closing. Mansell closing. They're in traffic again.
Here we go again. Everybody's all crowded on the one piece of racetrack, but Tracy, who has such an uncertain future as we speak, is the man who takes control. Now Boisel attacks his countryman.
The view from Mansell's car, the left-hand side. Boisel dials way to the outside. Mansell comes inside of Mark Smith.
Second, third, and fourth, all in a line here. Boisel is quicker.
Boisel moves to the outside around Fittipaldi. Can he hold that position? He'll trap him behind the slower car of Guzman.
So clearly you see the good handling Emerson enjoyed. Look at this.
Here comes Nigel on the charge with Fittipaldi. So the leader of the race is now moving steadily backward as Mansell gets him.
Subtle changes to the handling. Look, they sandwich the Hollywood car for Itzio Guzman. Mansell on the outside. I just mentioned a couple of laps earlier, these tires tend to go off a little bit quicker than normal. The Fittipaldis clearly have gone off, and Al Jr. still tries to get by Mario.
Al Unser Jr. in his continuing battle with Mario for 5th place.
You see what Mario did there? He blocked him. He blocked him and boxed him in behind Gugelmin. Perfectly legal. He just picked the racetrack, the piece of racetrack he wanted. Al Jr. had to back off.
Think over his career now on his Arrivederci Tour, how many times Mario has seen these situations develop and how foxy he is. Now it's little Al down along the inside. Mario knew there was no chance to hold him back there. And so he lets him go. And Al Unser Jr. driving some superlative corners here. Closes now toward the front.
And the radio frequency that we do monitor up here, Roger Penske just okayed Al Unser Jr. to slip down a gear to fifth and to go ahead after Mario, and he gets Emerson also.
Little Al takes Emerson. So now he moves into fourth place. Nigel Mansell is the next in his line.
And it's a compromise when you set up these racing cars. If they start with push, sometimes they go to loose. Look at this, has a little look around the outside.
Mario works on Fittipaldi. Are we seeing two different strategies at play here? Has Fittipaldi decided to drop back, go ahead and let the lead run away?
Well, no. He is definitely in trouble because he has dropped back way too fast. The decision comes whether he should go to the pit lane, and he does. Whether he will go to the pit lane right now and get a new set of tires on or struggle with low speed, and obviously there's the decision made right there.
So Emerson Fittipaldi grabs the pits.
Look at the marks on the tires. Look at that, the black marks on both front tires as he grapples with what I think is a push or an understeer situation.
Twice the Indy cars have raced here at New Hampshire. Twice the pole sitter has won the race. What about Emerson today? He reported to his crew that his car is swimming like a fish. I assume that means that it was swirling back and forth all over the track. Let's go pit side, Nmic.
Well, it turns out that we're having a tire blistering problem. Emerson Fittipaldi has blistered the front tires of his Marlboro Penske. That's why he radioed in that he had understeer. They're trying to obviously block this right now because the Goodyear engineers are trying to keep everybody out of here. It's pretty frantic down here, but it looks like he might have a potential tire problem, Paul.
Well, if he has it, then you have to assume everybody has it.
Jan, we had just spoken about the softer compound that Goodyear brought here for this weekend. It has made everybody go fast. Why do you think they brought a softer compound? Well, it is in preparation for the Firestone onslaught to IndyCar racing next year. They're preparing right now for the battle.
Unser Jr. around Mansell, now on the attack for second place, Raoul Boisel. Though those attacks are getting a little more difficult. They're bottled up behind Bobby Rahal, who has been giving wide berth to the corners and letting the leaders come through.
A neutral handling car will preserve its tires better. We have seen Al Jr. particularly good in the corners. Maybe he has a neutral handling car that allows him to be brave like this, and he passes Boesel.
But he gets caught up behind Rahal, but not caught for long. Around inside Rahal, Boesel back to third place. Look how fast they pull away from Rahal's car. Paul Tracy is the leader. Nigel Mansell is back in third as Al Unser Jr. got around him, and then Mansell got around Boesel. Boesel then sits in fourth place, and Mario Andretti sits in fifth, followed by Teo Fabi, Michael Andretti, Dominic Dobson, Jimmy Vasser, and Adrian Fernandez. Fittipaldi trying to find his way back through the field, fell back to 14th, is now up to 12th. Here we go.
Here's a slingshot.
Al makes the move for the lead. Michael Andretti in front of Tracy, not a factor, and take a look at closing in. There's Mansell.
So maybe Paul Tracy is beginning to suffer a similar problem that affected Emerson, because Mansell is right with this leading group here. The longer it goes, the better Mansell and Al Jr. seems to get.
And Al Unser Jr. grabs the lead away from Tracy. Mansell closing in. Remember these players a year ago? Tracy and Mansell. Let's get an update on Nigel Mansell, who moves into second place. Gary Darrell
Just flashed by us and swings to the outside line as he heads for turn 2, and the crew took a deep breath as they watched that bold move by the defending champion. They expect on their stop that could be within the next 10 laps, they're going to make a change. They'll go down one turn on the left front side of the wing only, not the right, but the left.
76 laps complete. Little Al has been in a valiant fight that put him in the lead. Any mistake at all, a half a second, can blow this whole race. So the pressure now shifts from the driver and over to the crew, and it's tremendous.
With the first round of pit stops complete, Little Al resumes his lead on lap 85. Nigel second, Tracy third. Emerson has moved up to fourth, and Mario is fifth.
Mansell-Andretti with damage sits out toward the wall. An interesting situation. Teammates involved.
Teammates crashing into each other. Mansell much quicker off 4. Down inside, top of your screen. Mansell is clearly past Mario. Mario obviously doesn't see him. I presume he didn't see him. Moves down when Mansell was clearly ahead. And Mario unfortunately makes very heavy contact with the outside wall and is still trapped in the car.
They're going to take their time with Mario. He's talking to the rescuers. He's conscious, moving around. They just want to make sure they can get him out without hurting him. Here it is. Look at the top of your screen again.
Mario must not have seen Nigel. Nigel's off the racetrack. Now he's ahead of him. Look at his front wheels. Ahead of Mario as Mario's left front drives over the top. Jump on the brakes. And goes into it again, into the wall.
Rick Reineman, as Emerson Fittipaldi comes in. Nmic is there.
Yes, the first thing we took a look at was the front tires, and there were no blisters on Emerson Fittipaldi's tire this time. You can see they're making a change. It looks like about a turn and a half of front wing, and Emerson Fittipaldi's underway. The thing is, Paul, we're not sure if he's in the pit window. This seems awfully early to go all the way to the end.
Alonso Jr. got a great restart there. Mansell in traffic trying to pursue. So there are some questions about this race car. He tapped his teammate, Mansell-Andretti, setting up this yellow. Here is Raul Boesel closing on him and blows him away pretty quick.
Well, we may have a problem with Mansell. We'll try and get a good look. We can't see any of the right front suspension damage. Usually you see a steering arm or something bent. But Boesel blew by Mansell.
Now that just gets Boesel in 5th place. Mansell's still in 2nd. Gary Gerald, do you have any idea on the condition of Mansell's car?
No, other than the report of grip, but the crew has laid out fresh rubber. They're waiting for him on pit road. Nigel, just before the green, issued his apology on the radio, told the crew, please tell Mario I'm sorry. He felt like he was down as low as he could get over there in turn number 1. So now they're waving on pit road, and we await Nigel Mansell.
The second Nigel-Mario collision of the season forced another retirement for Mansell and handed the first 3 spots to the Penske drivers. When Unser and Tracy made their last scheduled stops on lap 151, Emerson Fittipaldi inherited the lead. But although Emerson's tyres were good enough to carry him home, he'd be forced to stop for more fuel to be certain of finishing the race.
Emerson Fittipaldi still due for a stop any time now. 15 laps to go in the run. Al Unser Jr. is in 2nd place now, 17 seconds back. Paul Tracy is 3rd, then Mansell-Andretti and Raul Boesel. We give you the entire rundown across the bottom of your screen. The question is Fittipaldi. Is 18, 19 seconds in front long enough? I don't think so. But then it doesn't have to be much of a stop either.
Just a splash and go. Here he goes down the inside of Tracy.
Whoa.
Which may suggest that those tires are still in fairly good shape. Scott Goodyear moves to the outside. That was Marco Greco down the inside.
Goodyear got way up high to get out of the way.
But this could set up a very interesting pit stop.
Rick Reineman and the rest of Fittipaldi's crew is ready on the wall. Now Rick comes over the wall and the rest of the crew begins to lay out. So Fittipaldi due in here on the end of this lap.
Now Emerson knows the in and the out lap are vital if he's not to lose too much time. So he needs to peel off at turn 4 as quickly as possible and get down. There he goes.
All right, Fittipaldi gets it down under the 80 miles an hour. This is going to be an incredibly long time. He wobbles just a bit Under braking, Gary Gerald, he's coming toward you.
And the crowd has come to its feet across the racetrack watching. Here's Emmo. It'll be very quick. Pressure on the crew. They'll get the fuel, and then he's got to keep it under 80 miles an hour on the exit. He's rolling in 5.9 seconds. Now, will he be able to hang on to the lead? I don't think so. No.
Al Unser Jr. comes by on the pit exit. Fittipaldi into second place.
And it was a timed pit stop for fuel, no tires.
Paul Tracy got around as well, so that puts Fittipaldi back into third place.
So now when we saw Fittipaldi trying to pass Tracy, that was to put a lap on him. Now it is a battle for position to see if he can catch and pass Paul Tracy.
A little gift for Al Unser Jr. as the Fittipaldi pit stop is too long. The run down the pits, very costly to him, though he maintained the legal limit. And now with 4 laps to go, it's catch-up for Paul Tracy trying to catch Al Unser Jr. Fittipaldi fell off to third.
And 4 laps sounds a lot sometimes, but it's only 4 miles here. But look at the battle here for the lead. Al Jr. was caught behind the traffic of Mansell-Andretti as Jimmy Vasser moves aside.
Now 3 laps to go. Tracy on the charge. There's Tracy. There is little Al just ahead. They get around Jimmy Vasser. Boy, look at how far out. Paul Tracy's able to dial the car and come off the corner.
And there is another traffic jam that Al Unser Jr. has to pass. There's 4 cars, including Bozell, Michael, Willie T. Ribs, and Goodyear.
Little Al comes down to get bottled up behind that. Tracy's closing now. Tracy looking for room to race on Little Al. Fittipaldi is closing too. Little Al comes to the inside. Just about a lap and a half to go now.
3 wide, and Tracy needs a good run in traffic if he's to catch Al Jr. All 3 Penske cars are in a line without team orders.
They cross the line. Al Unser Jr. in front. The white flag being given to all 3 at the top. Tracy in closing position. Fittipaldi in third, and he closes in. On the backstretch, the final lap of the run.
Too far behind for Tracy. He's too far behind to make a run.
Al Unser Jr. makes his final turn off the corner, and Al Unser Jr. picking up the lead in the last 5 laps, takes the 26th win of his career and the 7th of the year, and takes another jump in PPG points. Al Unser Jr. has taken the win at New Hampshire.
And surely it would take a brave man indeed to back anyone but Al Unser Jr. to take the championship. 7 victories out of 12 now. The Albuquerque kid looking unstoppable, and the Penske victory lap now so familiar in IndyCar racing. Raul Bozell, the fastest Lola. Michael in 5th, the best Reynard, and a good 6th there for Dobson. Jimmy Vasser 7th, Adrian Fernandez 8th, lucky to escape the trouble of his own making at the start. Bobby Rahal, who won here on the way to the 1992 title, but this year he finishes only 9th. He's still struggling with that car of his. Willie T in 10th place. Scott Goodyear picked up 11th, and Mark Smith 12th. No change in the top 6 standings, but Al Unser now 40 points clear of Emerson Fittipaldi. Robbie Gordon and Nigel Mansell failing to score at New Hampshire. Interestingly, for the past 2 years, the winner of this race has gone on to win the championship. It's not just the odds that are favouring Al Unser Jr.